There has been chatter across the country about the one man, one vote, one shilling phrase that has been a topic of discussion lately. Well, we want to discuss about this. And one thing is the one man, one vote is fine. That is in the Constitution. Article 81 says there's equality of votes. That means if you want to go to the ballot, you will be counted as one person and your vote will be counted. That is what we do in all our elections. But now the controversy or the debate comes in when we say about one shilling. There is nowhere in the Constitution that the one shilling part comes in. I will take you to Article 203 of the Constitution that clearly stipulates about the county allocation revenue bill. In this, there are two main elements that are looked into when we are dividing the national cake. One is the economic disparities of the counties, and two is the affirmative action. Those are the two main principles that are looked into when the national cake is being divided. And that means that counties that do not have the development as par to the country will receive more money so that they can rise to be at par with other counties in the country. And that will in turn increase the growth or the economic development of the country. So when we say that one man, one shilling, one vote, we are equating the division of national revenue in terms of our population, which is not, it should not be the case, because we have a county like Nairobi, which has arguably about 9.6% of the entire population of Kenya. So do we mean that Nairobi County should receive 9.6% of the national revenue? If you consider the state at which Nairobi is and consider the state at which another county that is far away is in, you'll find the stark difference. People in our nation should receive the national revenue equitably in terms of the two main principles as highlighted in Article 203 of our Constitution. And that means if Nairobi has 9.6%, it doesn't have to receive the 9.6% of the national revenue. You can imagine Nairobi has tarmac almost everywhere. We have resources, we have hospitals, schools and everything, amenities at short distances. But if you go to a county like Garissa, if you go to a county like Wajir or Marsabit, you'll find that the population is a bit sparsely populated. By the way, Marsabit County is the largest county here in Kenya. The population there is sparsely populated. That means that if an individual in Marsabit at the border with Ethiopia there gets an emergency, a medical emergency, and they have to travel to Marsabit town, it will take them a long duration of time. Maybe the road is not well tarmacked, maybe the communication elements there are not up to date. That means that that person will be disadvantaged if we deny them those services that they need to feel as Kenyan as we feel here in Nairobi. There was that popular phrase that was being used long ago, before we had the counties, that when someone leaves Nairobi to those far counties, the people there used to ask them, how is Kenya doing? Kenya inaendelea aje? Just because they felt far away from the national revenue allocation. But since our new constitution came into play, people have felt more Kenyan because they felt that they have governance close to them. And by governance, we mean that they have revenue and resources closer to them. We have experienced people having schools, people having hospitals, all amenities just because of our county governments. So if we are returning back to say that one man, one vote, one shilling, we are taking the conversation back to where we were before we had the promulgation of the new constitution. That means that we are going to make Kenya even more to have more stark differences in regional areas. One region will have a lot of development compared to another region that will not have an equitably or similar development. So this is my take on this. If you treat people equally, regardless of their situation, you will not say that you have an equal treatment according to how they are living. You have to consider the elements, you have to consider their situation so that you can treat them and say that you are treating them equally or equitably. There is a need to have our resources equitably distributed according to how the Constitution clearly stipulates in terms of economic disparity and in terms of affirmative action, to make sure that we have a balance. Because it is not that far that we had the northeastern part of our country say that they wanted to secede because they felt they are not Kenyan enough. The matter of national unity comes to play when you deny people their resources. It is not far back that our coastal region also wanted to secede because they didn't feel Kenyan enough. But right now we are harmonized into one country because we have equitable distribution of resources. Therefore, it doesn't matter the number that you can amass in terms of one community. It doesn't matter the resources that you have amassed since independence. What matters is we need one country, and we cannot achieve one country with the one man, one shilling, one vote idea. It will not happen. And that goes to say that I, as Bonifice, will reject the one man, one vote, one shilling idea. That is my take.